I'm Rabbi Lisa Delson,
I'm Cantor Annie Rose.
and this is our fourth week of our video blog about counting the Omer. This week we are going to be talking about endurance, about different ways that we have to have endurance in our lives and on different levels. And at the end, we're going to offer a possible way that you might be able to gain endurance in your life.
The world has changed so much with the 24-hour news cycle and the constant awareness of what's going on through the internet. Wars, famine, natural disasters. If we're going to be responsible citizens, we have to have endurance to be aware of what's going on, to act appropriately, to help wherever we can. And just to be aware that knowledge is very important and that acting on it is very important throughout our lives.
Absolutely. That's probably one of the most difficult parts of endurance is working on it, worrying about it, thinking about it on a global level, because it really takes a lot out of us. However, there are a few other ways that we require endurance, that our lives require endurance. And the next one is a little bit closer to home, especially when the weather is so nice and we're thinking about the summertime. To have endurance on our way, say, to a vacation, that there are still things that we're required to do no matter if we're waiting to go on vacation tomorrow or if we're waiting to go on vacation in a month, but that we still need to make sure that we're taking care of everything that we need to take care of and giving our best effort at all possible times.
So true. Sometimes when we need endurance, something we can rely upon is our own understanding of how we have endured things before. How have we gotten through things? So often the answer lies right within ourselves. When we feel really weak or sad or disempowered, we need to remember times in our own lives when we've taken action, when we've had endurance. Remembering that can really bring us to a place of more energy and more commitment to the present.
Absolutely. So there are two ways that we thought we might offer as ways to gain endurance or to work on our endurance, just like a runner would do or another type of athlete, that you need to build up to it and gain some strength from it some other way. So the first way Annie is going to tell us about.
Study. That study is so beautiful and not that demanding. That we think of study, the topic of study, as this really big thing. Am I going to engage in a new habit of study? But really, the URJ, our own reform union, has come up with a great way to do this, that in fact studying text is what we're talking about, and it's of immeasurable value in our lives to be people who study. So the URJ, which is urj.org, right. urj.org, has something called 10 Minutes of Torah. Awesome. It's a great thing to go to. You just go to urj.org and sign up to get 10 minutes of Torah. It will come to your email. And if you really need to, you can delete it. But most of the time you're not going to need to, because you're going to say, I have 10 minutes. I'm going to study. And it resonates throughout your day. So there are other ways to study, of course, but 10 minutes of Torah we highly recommend.
Absolutely. And just as we've done in the past few weeks, we have a reading from our prayer book, Mishkan Tefillah, where we found this one that really talks about endurance without saying it necessarily. Countries grow old and fall apart, nations decline, torn, generations grow moss and gather dust. Still, every morning a chapter of Psalms stands by the window in the synagogue and intones its eternal chant over the world's tears. So that reading really encompasses all of the different topics that we touched on today, in particular talking about the world's troubles and how no matter where we've come from, we've always made it through, and we've always made it through because of our continued effort and endurance. So I think this is our time where we can say the blessing together. Please join with us if you'd like. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. A wonderful week.
Have a great week.